Hey, good morning and welcome to the fourth hour of the Greg Belfrage Show. Growing number of you who are subscribing, and I'm so very, very grateful. I appreciate it very much. We're up to, I know it's a small number, 231. It's a small number of subscribers, but it's growing and it's growing pretty quickly. And at least I think so. I'm just always shocked. So let's jump to it. The big story since I got off the air this morning is conversations between the campaign of Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Kamala Harris and her campaign is seeking to reverse a debate rule that was pushed by the Biden campaign in the first debate against Donald Trump. Remember, they were muting the mics. Kamala Harris does not want to mute the mics. This is a big story this morning at the Washington Examiner, at Politico, at The Hill. So, a number of different stories on this that the Kamala Harris team is fighting the muted mics. So, the question really becomes then, is Donald Trump disciplined enough to keep his mouth shut when Kamala Harris is engaged in her time? Will Trump, now again, I don't know whether or not they're going to be able to do this, but this is what the Kamala Harris campaign is pushing for. They do not want muted mics. So does that mean then that Kamala Harris would be interrupting Donald Trump? Or do they want to see Donald Trump interrupting Kamala Harris and then make a lot out of that? I would love to get your thoughts on this. The I think we're going to wind up talking about this tomorrow. Now, depending on what news happens today and what we see transpiring, but I would love to see your comments on this morning. So let's see what the Kamala Harris what's being reported here. So we've got that debate coming up on September 10th. Kamala Harris wants to, again, they're pushing for no muted mics. Donald Trump, as we talked about this morning, is suggesting on his True Social account, maybe he wouldn't do this ABC News debate. So is the campaign of Kamala Harris then reacting to that, trying to entice Trump to do the debate? I don't know. I don't know exactly what's happening right now, but it's pretty rough and tumble. Let's see what Politico is saying. Is this thing on? Harris and Trump battle over hot mics at the debate. So let's see what that story is saying. Politico, this is an exclusive of the playbook at Politico. So Politico is saying apparently they're the ones then that are reporting this. So negotiations between the two campaigns have hit an impasse over whether the candidates' microphones will be muted when it is not their turn to speak. So the president's campaign came to an agreement with Trump's. There would be two debates. And part of that, they wanted Trump's microphone muted when he wasn't speaking. So what's the new part of this? Harris campaign wants the microphones to be hot at all times during the ABC debate. So it's the Harris campaign that's pushing for this. They want the microphones hot the entire time. The Harris campaign senior advisor told Politico, we have told ABC and the other networks seeking to host a possible October debate that we believe both candidates' mics should be live throughout the full broadcast. Our understanding is that Trump's handlers prefer the muted microphone because they don't think their candidate can act presidential for 90 minutes on his own. Again, we saw Trump acting very presidential during the last. So they're goading Trump, in other words. Oh, Trump can't handle it. He can't handle it. Therefore, they're trying to goad Trump. Yeah, we want the microphones live because Donald Trump can't handle it. He's gonna go off, and he's gonna. We'll see. I would love to see Trump call their bluff on this and just stand there quietly. He showed us he can do it. I mean, were you surprised in the last debate? The microphone was muted. I think the expectation was that Trump would be over there, with a muted microphone, just carrying on to himself. Trump showed it. He just stood there and shook his head, and I would love to see that same Donald Trump. I honestly would. So make the microphones live, and Donald Trump, has he got the discipline then to just keep his mouth shut when it's not his time to speak? I think he does. So it'll be interesting. So they think Harris will get Trump to lose his cool. You know what? When honestly, the Democrat, we can get Donald Trump to lose his cool. She's been trying that all throughout the campaign. Hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. So we'll see. So, I don't know. Is Donald Trump so impulsive that he cannot? Again, I think all he's got to do is remind himself, hey, the country's at stake. The country's at stake. They're trying to goad me. I'm just not going to fall for it. I don't think Trump has been falling for those traps. And I'll give you a great example. There's a story and it's still out there. I mentioned it on Friday, and it's still out there this morning about Donald Trump saying he doesn't want now that he is officially the Republican candidate, he is entitled to a daily briefing from the administration. He is entitled to that. And Donald Trump has said, no, I do not want the briefings. And the reason, because he believes that the Democrats then will use that as they'll be leaking information and saying, oh, it came from Trump, must have come from the Trump campaign. Trump's, must have come from Donald Trump because he's getting the briefings. Donald Trump has refused the briefings. Now that shows discipline to me. That shows he understands. And no, he is taking a pass on the daily briefings because he believes that Democrats will use that to try to undermine him. And they will say that in the media, of course, they're the absolute, lackeys of the Democrat Party anymore. The legacy media, I refer to them as the state media because they really are the federal government's media. So no different than the TASS news agency over in Russia. The legacy media in this country is the same damn thing. And I'm not saying just for the Biden administration, but for the powers that be in Washington, whoever they may be. It's not Joe Biden right now. Did you hear this morning? It's on yet another vacation now. Yep, he's vacationing again. And what did we hear from Joe Biden at the conclusion then of his comments to the Democratic National Convention? Yep, we're going to get back to work. We're going to work hard in the remaining 5 months. We're going to be working hard, and we're starting by taking one vacation after another vacation. It's just like hardly a surprise. This guy is out. He is out the door. So who in the hell's running the federal government? We really don't know. We really do not know. So this whole issue of Donald Trump and the microphone and trying to goad him into outbursts, I think Donald Trump has got an opportunity here to really show what he's made of and to just, not give in to the goading, because that's what they're going to try to do. They want to goad Trump into losing their temper. And I can see it. I mean, they're wearing it on their sleeves, and they're out there saying publicly, Donald Trump, we know you cannot control yourself. We know you can't. So we want those mics to be open, and Trump, I think it's an opportunity for Trump to really prove these folks wrong. So we'll see whether the microphones will be open. Kamala Harris now is insisting on that. And the only reason they're insisting on it is they don't think Donald Trump can do it. And Donald Trump showed that he could during the CNN debate with Joe Biden. I mean, he showed that he could. So can he do it again? If the microphones are open, can he just stand there quietly, wait for his turn, do not take the bait? I hope he can. I mean, seriously, because the well-being of the country depends on it. It really does. We've gotten to that point. The well-being, excuse me, I got a bit of a itch there. The well-being of the country really depends on it. And again, he's already proven that he can do it. And it was pretty amazing during that last CNN debate. Trump just stood there and shook his head. He didn't try to speak. Let the president go on. Let him sink, and I hope he does the same thing to Kamala Harris. Let her go on and see who America decides then is the crazy. Who is not got Americans' best interests in mind. It'll be interesting to see. So Kamala Harris, that's a big story this morning. I think we may wind up talking about that tomorrow. And I'd be very interested and curious to get your thoughts on it. And again, this is a major story this morning at Politico, at The Hill, at the Washington Examiner, and I'm sure at other places. A big story this morning. So let's take a look and see what else is going on out there. Oh, you remember Alexander Vindman? Vindman was the one who was a key witness in the impeachment trial against Donald Trump, the retired lieutenant colonel. And now he's issued a warning to Elon Musk after the CEO of Telegram was arrested in France. So the CEO of Telegram, that's an entirely different story. He was served with an arrest warrant in Paris over the weekend. And because he has not taken steps then to sufficiently limit criminal activity on Telegram. And Vindman is warning that Elon Musk may be next. And he says Elon Musk should be nervous after the CEO of Telegram was arrested. And he's referring to Elon Musk as a free speech absolutist weirdo. So all of these weirdos, these free speech absolutist weirdos, Vindman is talking about. The only weirdo in my book is Alexander Vindman. I mean, this guy's been a weirdo from the get-go. So he is saying that he's warning Elon Musk that he may be next. He's saying get a load of this. It just cracks me up because these people are hypocritical as can be. Vindman said, there's a growing intolerance per platforming disinformation and malign influence and a growing appetite for accountability. Musk should be nervous. So now who is that coming from? Elon Musk, or excuse me, Alexander Vindman and those kinds of far left wackos? That's it. Now they want accountability, and Elon Musk going to pay a price for his. When has Alexander Vindman been right about anything? Up until now, he's been wrong about every damn thing under the sun. When has Alexander Vindman been right about anything? So he says, Musk should be nervous about this. I want to look at the expanded comment. Yeah, Musk should be nervous. This is what he's saying. And it's just absolutely so. Here you go. Um, I think Musk referred to this over the weekend. He said these dangerous times. That was a reaction from Elon Musk about this the Telegram CEO being arrested. Musk said dangerous times. So Vindman responds by saying Elon Musk should be worried because he's next. And then you've got those like Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who said the need to protect free speech has never been more urgent. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he understands this because his party was trying to shut him down. They would not allow him, he wanted to contest Joe Biden. He wanted to run for the Democratic nomination. They would not allow him to be on the ballot. They would not allow them to have a conversation about, between him and the president. And he challenged the president to a debate. It wouldn't allow any of those kinds of things. So, I mean, who do you trust, Alexander Vindman, or kind of odd times we find ourselves living in? Do you trust Alexander Vindman or Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Or Elon Musk? So again, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Elon Musk, here you've got these alternative voices who are now, they're backing Donald Trump. And I never imagined that we see Elon Musk backing Donald Trump. But Elon Musk, and it's not because he agrees with Trump about everything, he continues to. But what Donald Trump allows is people to dissent. Donald Trump allows people of differing opinions. RFK Jr. recognizes that. Elon Musk recognizes that. The Democrat Party does not allow differing opinions. Alexander Vindman is one of those people. Doesn't allow any opinions that differ from his. And that's what's become of the Democrat Party. It's just really, really kind of troubling when you see again, some of these, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Donald Trump, they don't agree on everything. Elon Musk and Donald Trump don't agree on everything. Far from it, but they recognize what's happening in the country right now. Alexander Vindman, he's as much an idiot as he was years ago. I mean, he just remains a buffoon. Some of these people, it's just absolutely incredible. What else did this is an interesting story this morning from The Blaze. This is from theblaze.com. And they've got a piece this morning. Harris has long campaigned against Trump's border wall. Now she's using it in her campaign ads. And so Harris posted a campaign ad earlier this month touting her record on the border. On closer inspection, critics and even some elements of the liberal media noticed something was wrong or amiss in the 30-second video. President Donald Trump's border wall. She's insinuating that she is strong. This is what Kamala Harris is saying. She's strong on the border. The campaign ad repeatedly shows off the same border wall that Kamala Harris spent years criticizing, and then joined President Joe Biden in defunding the border wall. So she'd been a part of that. Now, pictures of the border wall in her campaign ads. And again, what the Kamala Harris campaign shows is that they look at you, the voting public, as a complete moron. That you should know that she defunded the wall. Joe Biden defunded the wall. She was out there criticizing the wall, very specifically criticizing the wall, what Donald Trump was up to. And now you watch her campaign ads. It's like, who is this woman? She is. So has she now adopted a new position, or is she trying to dupe the American public? Well, obviously, I believe she thinks you're a nitwit. She thinks you have no memory, that she can present herself as in favor of a border wall, even though she has consistently been against it up until now. These people just think the American public are absolute rubes. And it's a little bit striking. You can get more on this story from theblaze.com this morning. It's a really interesting piece. So again, Kamala Harris trying to reinvent herself now, thinking that Donald Trump's going to be completely unable to control himself during the debate. So we want the microphones alive because Trump can't control himself. Maybe he can't. I think we saw during the debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, he can control himself. He knew the microphones were muted, and he, I thought he, we saw him respond very appropriately during that debate. All right. We talked about, I received a number of emails this morning in the last hour of the program. We were talking about the tax on tips, and that resonated with a number of people. I got a number of phone calls on the show this morning. And if you missed that, you can find it at kello.com. That's in my podcast. So if you hear me referring to the radio show at all, you can always find those podcasts at kello.com. That's our home base. So Eric sent me an email, said no tax on tips below $200. Eric sent me, I think he was going on. No tax on tips for each transaction below 200. He said, I sent the previous email before I could write about each occurrence. Thank you. Thank you, Eric. And then Kurt said, last I knew, tips have to be divided between server, busser, and dishwasher in some places. That's true in some places. He said, which is why I prefer to give in cash, because the tip is for the server. So again, if you're leaving a tip then through your card, that tip may not just go right to the server, versus if I leave cash on the table, the server can just take that. So it's a great point that Kurt is making here. He says, plus, wait staff doesn't have to be paid minimum wage, much less sometimes. So they aren't earning nearly enough Social Security for retirement. Plus, they have to deal with the public every day. As far as fairness goes, the passage about the workers in the vineyard should be reviewed. I'm not sure I entirely understand what he was getting at. Sometimes your thoughts are clear to you when you write an email, but when you read an email, the transition of thoughts not always. He said, basic rule of thumb I try to live by: walk in someone else's shoes before making a firm decision on fairness. So I would agree. There are those who are out there and talking about it. Let's see what you guys are saying who are watching the stream this morning. I'm very grateful for all of you. Appreciate all of you being here very, very much. Greg was weighing in on the issue of the microphones at the debate. And he said, leave the mics hot. Let Kamala, go on all she wants, then prove that she lies. Sean said, Trump needs to handle any debate with Kamala the same way he handled the debate with Biden. I would agree. The question really is, can Donald Trump and I thought Trump showed that he could when the microphones were when he when it was not his turn, he didn't speak. So he's shown us he can do it. If the microphone is hot, can he still do it? What do you think? What do you think about that? Curious to get your thoughts. Um, David is saying here, my cousin has not talked to me since I first voted for Trump 8 years ago. Talking about that a little bit on the program this morning about RFK Jr. and his family saying, what would his father think? Our father is rolling in his grave, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Let's just make it personal. My own comments. My comments are not meant to be a reflection on my father. My father's beliefs are very different from mine. My family is a very Democrat family. My mom was, and my dad is. And my dad is, he worked his career at John Morrell, and he was a member of the union for a long time down there. He was a member of the union. And then finally, he joined the management team down at John Morrell. My dad did. My dad, Gary. And he's known to some of you who have spent, I know my call screener, in fact, John, who handles the phones for me every morning. John, love the job you do for me, buddy. John does a great job. But John knew my dad down at John Morrell, spoke very highly of my dad. But my dad and I disagree on a number of different issues. When I'm on the air, I'm speaking for myself. I'm not speaking for my family. I'm speaking for myself. I'm telling you what I think. And I don't do that to insult my dad or those in my family who might disagree with me. So why does the family of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. take it so personally? Why do our father would be rolling in the grave? And what? That's nonsense. Allow Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to have his own voice, just like his father had his own voice. You know, that honestly, when families use that, and typically it comes from those who are much more liberal. I mean, let's just be honest. You do not typically hear somebody on the right saying, "Oh, what would our father say?" I'm not saying they're incapable of saying that, but typically it's people on the left who show they have a real intolerance for anybody's opinion that disagrees with theirs. And so Robert F. Kennedy Jr., again, I don't agree with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on everything. Donald Trump and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. do not agree on everything. I think that's clear to a lot of us. Elon Musk, same kind of thing. Elon Musk and Donald Trump do not agree on everything. But Elon Musk sees the writing on the wall. He understands that free speech in this country is definitely under assault. And who is it under assault from? It's the people on the left. They're the ones who are after free speech. And you see this in the reaction of Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s, family, his sister, his brother, both have been out there, and there were stories trending, reacting to what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is saying. It's like, now, I don't know them from Adam. I don't. I mean, his sister, I know Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is, because he has gone out there and made a name for himself. What these others have done to make a name for themselves, I don't know. I'm not saying they haven't. I'm just saying certainly are not household names. They're using their father's notoriety to disagree with their brother. And I guess I just don't have a lot of time for that. I just don't take that all that seriously. I mean, I don't know about you, but just the reaction there has just been over the top. And again, I listen to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and I'm like, I react the same way to him I react to Elon Musk. Some of it I go, "Hey, Elon, you're off your rocker." Same thing with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Some things I go, "Wow, totally disagree with that." Other things I'm like, this guy wants people of differing opinions to be able to agree with. And did you see the way that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. reacted to his family? With a lot of kindness. He showed them a hell of a lot more kindness than they're showing him. They're out there in the, printing editorial. His brother, I think, is out there with an editorial, then a Los Angeles Times just ripping on him. That's the route he chooses to go. I mean, the behavior of the left just says that and I've said this on the air, I don't know how many times, these people are telling you who they are through their actions. Just watch their actions. They're telling you who they are. And who they are, I find often highly distasteful. And I'm being kind. I mean, I find it highly distasteful. So your brother's got a different opinion. Get the hell over it. Get over it. This is what he stands for. You disagree? Okay, fine. You're entitled to disagree. But going out and ripping on him and what he's doing to the legacy of his father. I mean, I would hope that my legacy says nothing about my dad. I hope it says everything about me, right? It should say everything about me, whatever my legacy winds up being. Assuming I have one, and I don't, and I don't. But my legacy, I hope to be in my children, and whatever they do, good or bad. It's where my legacy lies. I think it's in my children, but in my grandchildren, where my family goes. But just, man, cool it. Just cool it. Just the heat. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s out there. He's not responding to his family with any vitriol. He's just, hey, man, they're entitled to what they're saying. But, I hope we can agree at the end of the day, we're still family. And that's the way I view it. Very much the way Robert F. Kennedy Jr. does, is that at the end of the day, hey, we're still family. For instance, I don't know what my sister thinks of me. I really don't. I don't know what she thinks of me. She's not one to wear her heart on her sleeve. Unlike me, I'm the opposite. I tell you what I think, how I feel. I have no aversion to that. If you know my sister, that's not her. That's not her. But she's my sister. I love her. She's my family. My dad, I love my dad, and I enjoy our conversations. We talk about everything except politics. Generally, we don't talk politics. And if he wades in on something, and usually I can tell my dad is something's getting to him, conversations, start forming with family. And I can tell when my dad's getting frustrated. And I've picked up on that over the years. So I can pick up on that. And I don't join in. I just keep my mouth shut because I don't want my dad to go, "Oh, Greg's at it again." I don't want him to be frustrated. I just want to enjoy a conversation with my dad about things that we share in common or whatever's interesting him or about how he's doing, you know? Um, and so many, there's a and I don't know, maybe that's because I have a platform. I have a platform that not a lot of people have. I'm on the radio each day. And so I can talk about this and I can share a point of view and I can get your thoughts and agree or disagree. And again, I welcome you to have your own thoughts. I want you to view things your own way. But I've got a platform. I don't know for folks that don't have a platform, that maybe that's the reason they're on social media more, or they get into these conversations with their family. I just have never felt the need for that, and I don't do that. And Katie and I sometimes, we will have some conversations between the two of us, and There will be times she wants to get in on something, and I'll say, you know what? I don't want to go there right now. Let me stew on that a little bit before we. I'm not ready to have that conversation with you because maybe some days I'm just like, I've hit my limit. I'm done for the day. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at. I just don't want to play right now because I won't play nice. I'm a very emotional person. I am. And I do better if I take a little time. And I've learned this lesson the hard way over the years because there was a day, man, boom, just let's go. Over the years, I've learned, yeah, bad strategy for life. For me, it's been a bad strategy. So I just need a little time sometimes to stew on things. And I will, I'll be able to, but I just got to let my emotions cool before I proceed. So I think the question is, can Donald Trump do that if they have live mics during the debate? I think he can. We've seen him do it before, but anyway, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. taking a lot of heat from his family. I just don't think it's deserved. And he's appealing to his family, hey, we're family. Um, and I hear that. Why don't they hear that? That's what's so amazing. We got so many people in this country who just don't hear certain things. So I hear him clearly making an appeal to his family. And the story is at Newsmax. You can find that at newsmax.com this morning. Very clearly making an appeal to his family. I hear it. Why don't they? What is it that's driving them? Emotion, party loyalty. Are you more loyal to your political party than you are to your family? See, I'm not. My dad's the guy who brought me into the, he and my mom, the things they did for me. I mean, took care of me when I couldn't take care of myself. I had great times with my family growing up. That means an incredible amount to me. Um, so are you able to set those things aside? I hope that they would tell you, yeah, that I can. But that's the kind of person that I wish to be. They'd have to tell you whether or not I've gotten there. All right. Oh, my heavens. Gone 38 minutes this morning. So let's call it good for now. I want to thank all of you for being here. I want to ask a favor of you. Please let others know about what we're doing every morning. If you got like-minded friends, I am now up to 231 subscribers on YouTube. 231 people have subscribed. We were at about 190, last Thursday, Friday morning? Or last Friday morning. Yeah, we stood at 191. And this morning, we're at 231 subscribers on YouTube. So dozens of people then who joined. And if you know anybody, if you've got folks that are like-minded friends or folks that you just think would be interested in what we're doing, please let them know about it, and let's continue to build those numbers. I'm shooting for 300. Let's see how fast we can get there. One of the ways that you can help me get there is by hitting the like button. And this is an appeal I make at the end of every video. I don't do it up front as a number of people do, but please hit the like button. It makes a huge difference. And a very small number of folks are doing that. I've got like about 6 or 7 that routinely hit the like button. But yet I know much, I see the number of views, and there are dozens of people that are watching, but very few that are hitting the like button. Hit that like button. It helps let other people know about what I'm doing and growing our numbers. So if you want to see our numbers grow on the page, the one way you can help me do that is by hitting the like button. It's very, very much appreciated. And that will conclude my sermon for today. I hope you'll be back for more tomorrow. So thank you, my friend, for being here. Very much appreciated. So long until tomorrow, and may God bless.